Good afternoon, everybody.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt your lunch. We'll quick stand, sorry. And let's say the Rotary motto. You can turn to the flag and pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Jim, a blessing?
Please join in prayer or meditation as I say, bless this food you are used and us to thy service. Amen.
Amen. And we have a song today?
We do. Page 17. Good Rotarians always do doing things side by side. Right? You know.
Excellent choice, excellent choice. Have a seat, everybody. It's Club Assembly Day. So I'm kind of talking over some club business and hearing from you as well. So I have a few things to go over. But before I launch into my pile of stuff, I want to do a recognition. The first goes to, I'm not going to give it to Bill. It's all Libby. It's all Libby. We actually won an award. I think we're going to be recognized for our efforts during the Salvation Army Red Kettle Drive. You want to talk specifically about what we won, Libby?
Well, here is the message from James Hedrick, who is running it. She says, Libby, I'm pleased to announce that your club, Cape Charles, has won first place this year in the Red Kettle Ring the Bell contest. This is an Alumni Association sponsored district event.
So that's a fabulous effort.
Money or hand?
I think someone's going to come over and present.
Yeah. So it's a relatively big deal because apparently Williamsburg has been the winner of this award for a couple of years running. So when I found out that there's a contest here, I didn't even know that. I got Libby and Bill right on it and we jumped right in and great effort of the shore because I think it's a sign of our giving and caring for our community. Bill.
I would only say the only reason we didn't win those past years, we didn't know about the time.
We ring a lot longer. Than
We do. We do.
Really miss it.
So that is fabulous news. And I'm so appreciative of all the effort you did. And for those who don't know, I ended up getting really sick the week that we were ringing the bell. And my 2-hour shift, Libby ended up covering for me because I was so sick. So not only does she get everybody to do it, she steps in when you can't do it yourself. So. I think if they're still, they rescheduled the dinner last Friday. That was at the Habitat for Humanity fundraiser at the brewery. So it's this Friday. Do we still have the crew assigned to help with parking if needed? Is that correct, Jim? That's
Yeah.
Jim, that's.
Stan and I will be there, and after a little glitch by yours truly, which gave Stan and Bill a wonderful opportunity to visit.
So do you need another person? Or are you good? You're good. Okay. We appreciate you guys doing that as well. And if you didn't see the news, yes, Jeanette made her milestone fundraising effort for Habitat for Humanity in her polar plunge, which was last Saturday. I have not talked to her since Saturday. I talked to her before then, but she was on her way to meeting it. She clearly surpassed her goal in her fundraising efforts. And we did as a club, for those who don't know, we typically would give $250 to Habitat. We increased that by email vote of the board, and increased our contribution to $500. Is that correct? Yeah, $500. The next reminder event coming up is March 15th, is a trash pickup day of 184. Karen's leading that effort for us as usual. We appreciate her efforts in doing that. It is tied and partnered with the Cape Charles Cleanup Day on that day as well. Cape Charles Day in particular. They do cleanup efforts throughout the town. We're going to do the 184 pickup. Part of what they do on Cape Charles Day is the town council then will make hot dogs and provide chips and snacks for everybody who does cleanup day. They typically hold that in the park. I think they're moving it over to the harbor this year. But so we want you to stick around not only for the cleanup day, but go into town and get some free food and heckle the town council as well. I think, Mark, we're going to staff a booth. Did you hear?
That is the rumor. I think that's the plan.
Do you want to stand up and tell everybody our plan? So, I'm putting you on the spot. I know I haven't talked to you about it, but
Past Cape Girl Day has had kind of limited. People kind of heard that they were allowed to tables, they weren't, but I thought it'd be a great opportunity for us to get the word out about the club at that gathering. You get a couple hundred people there at that event. So anyone that wants to work a booth that day, holler at me or holler at President. Okay.
so again, it's when we say work the booth, it's about an hour tops. So you're out doing the cleanup that typically the crew starts finishing around 11:30, 11:45, start gathering. At this point, it'll be over at the harbor. And we'll man a booth while people are eating lunch and talk to them and socialize. And then it's all done. So by like 2:15, you all get to go home. So it's not a long day. So if you can come out as a Rotarian and man the booth and let people know who we are and what we're doing over here, that would be great publicity. So I hope I'll continue to nag you for the next 2 weeks until I get enough people showing up that day to help. Okay. The next item to announce, and I'm going to turn this one over to Bill Stram as it relates to the foundation and fundraising.
So, how many are aware last year we had the Giving Tuesday for Polio Plus? Show of hands. All right, so it's happening again this year, April 1st, April Fool's Day. So here are the rules. Contributions must be made to the annual fund. The annual fund, not Polio Plus, the annual fund. Rotarians can contribute $100 to $500. And that will be matched by the Paul Harris Fellow recognition points, 1 for 1. So you need 1,000 recognition points to be a Paul Harris Fellow. So if you haven't given anything to the foundation and you give $500, they will match 500 points. You will now be a Paul Harris Fellow. Okay, that's what that means. Contributions can be made in 3 ways, but they must be made on April the 1st. Go online to my Rotary website on Tuesday, April 1st, and make your donation. If you have established a My Rotary account, you may make the donation using this account on April the 1st. If you have not established an account at RI, ask your club foundation chair, me, to send in your donation to RI. I can do that. All right. But you should set up your Rotary International My Rotary account because your stuff is in there. So you can go in there to see how much you've contributed and all that. So you can establish that, but it has to be established several days in advance. So I encourage you to do that. It's pretty simple. Just go on there and just like any other website that you have to log into, follow the procedures. Okay. last year, our club also matched 1-for-1. The board hasn't decided if we're gonna do that yet, but we'll get back to you. I just wanted to, this is a precursor. We have a board meeting in March. We'll decide if we can do it at that time. But we did it last year and several people took advantage of it. So
So
it goes to Polio Plus.
before you walk away,
It goes to the
Annual.
annual.
It goes to annual fund. I'm sorry.
Annual fund.
I'm sorry. Yes.
So what's the significance of our giving our funds, our donation funds to the annual fund? How does Rotary use those?
So, yeah, so all of our grants that we get back is based on what's been contributed to the annual fund, 3 years prior. Okay? So district normally they contribute annually a lot of money. We're talking $500,000. Okay? And so what happens is 50% of that, $500,000, comes back to us as designated funds. And that's what we use for grants. The other 50% goes to the World Fund, okay, which is used to create the foundation funds global grants with that. All right. So that's where your money goes. And you will find that out if you go to RLI. All right. So.
And to tie to that, I was at training this past weekend for Rotary. And in fact, the funds that were donated 3 years ago was coming in to make a pot of money for this next grant cycle opening May 1. They're telling us at this point, they're actually going to get an increase of funds. They know that now. Probably going to result in 3 more grants being able to be awarded in this coming year, which is a big deal for our district. So every donation we're doing, and we may not see it today, but we're going to see that impact 3 years from now coming back to the district funds. So thank you, Bill, for that.
You're welcome.
So we'll keep reminding you that donation, the Giving Tuesday. But that ties in quite nicely to the next one. I'm actually going to let Jim give you the update on our own district grant that's going on right now.
Okay. Well, thank you. Katie and I met with Dr. Martin this morning, over at the school headquarters. And we were very concerned going in whether we were going to have a bookmobile this year or not. And based on what we heard, the answer is yes, we will. We have a big, the bus supposedly was to go yesterday or today to Salisbury to be wrapped. That's the biggest last step, other than actually loading it with books, buying books and loading them. They, at least according to the grant application, they've already did a third, but they still need to buy more. We have given already 10 or 11,000. We have several more thousand to give them so they can spend that on the books. But Dr. Martin is confident that she will be able to meet the roughly April 24th deadline to have all of the funds spent. The bus doesn't technically, under the terms of the direct grant, the bus doesn't have to be up and running on that date, but all the money has to be spent. So they still have to look at their calendar, see when they're actually going to launch this thing, and we will be reporting back. But at any rate, it is after a long delay, and I think largely because of the construction of the school building, it is finally back on track. And did I miss anything?
That covers it. I'm going to circle back around because part of what we talked to Dr. Martin about this morning is if there's a chance to try and bring the bus to Cape Charles on May 15th. Because not only is that Cape Charles Day and cleanup day, I think that's also what?
March 15th.
March 15th. Oh, so I'm sorry. I'm totally getting confused. So we've asked Dr. Martin if we can bring the bus to Cape Charles May 15th, which is the day we hope to dedicate a Rotary clock in Strawberry Plaza. Am I right on that one?
I thought it was March, or May
May 16th.
16th.
May 16th.
It's Saturday.
Okay, Saturday. Trying to do the even numbers in my.
I don't even need
On
to
everything.
read, it's okay.
May 16th, apparently that's the Saturday in May. So I think we are also planning for that. I'm looking at Mark and Bill, who are kind of leading the charge on this effort. Is that correct?
That's right.
Okay. So May 16th is when for those who don't know, you've been lost in the clouds somewhere, through Mark's amazing efforts of raising all the money. We're going to have basically a community clock, a town clock, that is through a Rotary vendor. So I'll have Rotary logo and a look to this. It's really quite beautiful. You've not seen the clock that's been selected. And there'll be, I think, plaques put on of people who donated the funds for this clock as well.
The one that says Rotary 100 or celebrating 100th anniversary of Rotary.
There we go. So I hope everybody gets on their calendar, mark it. We want you there because we want a big cry of woohoo for the Rotary of Cape Charles. It's our chance to really let this community know we are here, what we're doing in the community at large, and how we are a valuable resource to them. So I hope we have a good presence that day from all Rotarians. You might even have to invest in some shirts so we all look, stiff. So, then I think that was it of my main announcements. Let me check. Nope, I forgot one more. So as I said, I went to training this weekend for Rotary. One of the big announcements that they rolled out is as a result of the recent youth leadership assembly that happened, there were some concerns that many of the kids attending ended up in transport with people who were not related to them. It may have been club members, and I'm not saying it was our club or any particular club, but there were some concerns expressed along the way that we need to beef up our policy oversight of the adults in Rotary and how we interact with youth that are in our various programs or partnerships that we have with them. And they want to make sure that we have appropriate training to know what is a proper conduct with youth. So with that said, Rotary is rolling out a new required policy. And so at next month's club assembly, we're going to do a 30-minute video that we will all watch as Rotarians so that we will get in compliance with the policy as to how we should conduct and behave ourselves when we are doing a program or partnership with youth. In addition, if we are in a more intensive one-on-one involvement with youth, there will be an additional training that's going to be required. And Jason, you may have heard some of this in your reaction and interaction with the Interact Club. So we're going to have to look at that further as it rolls out, say, with the bookmobile. And if we're going to be part of that to go do reading in the community with children, there are going to be some parameters that they're going to put in place for us to how to interact, primarily to make sure it's never one-on-one with a kid or one adult and 2 or 3 kids with you. We always need to make sure we have 2 adults present in that relationship. And they have not decided, but they may require background check for those who are in some of the more intensive youth programs.
But tell her.
I know.
About the backlog.
So why Rotary at the District 7600 has not made that a requirement yet, because there's about a 3 to 4 month backlog at the state police on doing background checks in general for this sort of thing, not just for us, for YMCAs, for libraries, for school systems. So adding in the Rotary needs as well is going to add to that backlog to the state police of getting background checks done on to us. So right now they've just asked that we get the video viewed by our membership. So I'll keep a log of that day. I just want to make everybody aware and remind you to show up that day, and I'll continue to push out the reminders because we want to get as many of us covered under that one viewing as possible. Karen. No, not that I'm aware of. Is there something we should know, Karen?
I just did this fingerprints of this and the sheriff's office so that I could volunteer for the school system again. And I they never were able to get my fingerprints. So there's several people across the bay. So I just wanted to say that if there's fingerprints, we need to ensure that they're here and stored.
And I will keep the club informed as this policy gets refined by the district, okay? So then my couple last announcements from this weekend's training. Give me 1 second to make sure I've hit everything. I mentioned prior that Rotary Leadership Institute, we sent, Joan went to it. Mark, did you ever go?
Yes, different part of it.
Okay,
They gave me a pass to go to the prime minister.
okay. So I'm making everybody aware because they announced at our meeting that they're going to do a online program on April 26th, a virtual 1-day class of Rotary Leadership Institute. There are 3 parts to Rotary Leadership Institute. You got to do them consecutively, parts 1, 2, and 3. You can't get them all done in 1 day. Say that right now. So I'm going to send out that information, that flyer to all of you by email. So don't ignore that email. If you try your best, please read that one. And I really urge you to participate virtually on that day. So again, is April 26th, is that virtual class? Sign up for the appropriate one. We'd like to have a strong showing. Again, I can't speak highly enough of this program. I went through it more than a year ago. It made a huge impact, and I did it in about 3 months from start to finish. When they had the classes, I took them. It really helped focus what Rotary is about as an international organization. And it's hard for us to always focus on the international piece of it. And really, when we are strong together here as a club, it ripples out to the entire world. And it just really reaffirms that message and the impact that we have made as Rotarians for many, many years since this organization was founded in the early 1920s. And I should know that date because they teach it at Rotary Leadership Institute when we got founded, but I don't remember the date off the top of my head. So I just want to make you aware of that as well. That covers my announcements, except nobody blackballed Pete, so he's in the club. Lucky I'm not stealing this because I forgot my pin today, so I'm going to get another fine. This is week. I'm going to get fined for no pin. But Pete, come on up. We're going to pin you. It doesn't have to go for your clothing at all, but there it is.
All right.
Welcome aboard. And again, if you don't remember your pin, yes, you will get fined on every meeting.
I've been told that several times.
And so we still need to assign him a mentor. Is that correct?
But yeah, and another, we might need another fairly new member or so that needs to be signed a mentor. So we got a little behind on that.
Okay.
And speaking of which, there are a lot of mentors and mentees that still haven't finished their mentorship.
Okay, so that's, and you're correct. And part of the responsibility is to conclude your mentorship. You have to have sat through a president's fireside chat. And I delegated that responsibility to Bill Payne, so it's his fault.
We know.
Bill has graciously offered to help me convene a fireside chat. So we just need to pick a date and make that happen. We are going to have a group one. We're going to have to find a large enough space to do that in. So we will get on that. Things are a little better in my life. I can jump on that now, Paul. So I will make sure that that happens in the month of March. Okay. It'll be part of my March Madness experience. How's that? Any other announcement from club members? Mark.
A couple of thoughts, if we're looking for new members and letting people know what we do and who we are. Possibilities, and this is a shameless conflict of interest, but the concert series in the park has sponsorships each year, $250, $500, and then the name goes in all the PR along with the logo. And Arts Inter has their annual programming, which might also be a venue, put an ad here. Do we already have one? Because, yeah, okay, because maybe not.
We did it in the fall. We went in because that was when our donation went in, and if I'm remembering correctly, Mark.
Okay, then it's not this year.
Yeah.
For some reason she said, well, so anyway, I apologize. She said, why not bring it back? So maybe I need to.
No, I agree with you, Mark. At some point, we might want to think about how do we increase our presence. I know we last year, for the first time, did a table at the 4th of July event for the day. It was a long, hot day. It's a good day. Don't get me wrong, but it was a good one. And we might want to think about doing that again, or maybe we do a table during one of the concert events if that's possible. I don't know. So I'm with you. We need to start thinking ways to increase our presence and visibility in the community to share our message and what we're doing over there. Paul, you had an announcement?
Yes, as treasurer, sent out invoices for this quarter a month ago. And, today was the day they were due. We still have a little less than half the membership that still hasn't paid. I've got the list. If you're not sure whether you're on the list or not, ask me about it. We'll get a reminder, within a day or two if you, I haven't heard from you.
Does your list include the amount we owe as well? Okay, good, because I can pay. I have not paid. I'm one of them. I have the Venmo app, so I can pay today. So, any other announcements from the club? One of the things I indicated that we still need to talk to you guys about is our food choices and what we're doing here, and working with Smalls as they change their operations and how things are going. So right now, we have not imposed any limitation on what you can order from the menu since the menu has rolled out and they've gone to this table service. So do we want to talk for a minute about that? Do we want to impose any limit right now? Or are we good letting people order what they want,
I
Paul?
think we probably need a little more discussion
Okay.
between, in the board.
So all we're gonna ask from you as members right now, until we can get a little more clarity, because they're still refining what they're doing, they're still changing some of their menu options and choices. So we would ask you, try not to order the $27 items. More than once, no. Keep your prices reasonable, your options reasonable. We will be coming back because we had asked two of our board members to talk with John and Logan to kind of see where things are in their business model, what they're trying to achieve and how we fit into that picture for them. So we have not heard back from that group of two as to those conversations. And then where we want to be as a club to help this organization fit into this restaurant and keep it viable and sustainable and keep us here. We really like this space. I don't know about the rest of you, but this is one of the best spaces we've met in since I've been in Rotary. So, Joan.
I just think it'd be helpful to remind people that the current budget is $16 per person. Is that not correct, Paul?
That's right.
That's all I ever known. I never thought we should be 27.
And now you've missed your chance. So I thought we might be a little further along to present it at today's meeting, but it sounds like we're still doing a little more research to figure out where we are as a club with this restaurant and its space and how that fits into our budget. So keep working with us as we further refine this information and get this out back to you as a club. Okay. Did I miss anything else that we needed to announce from a club perspective? The other thing that we talked to Dr. Martin about is they are doing a Northampton County book read. And so, yes, they're going to come back to us because we've indicated we'd like to do a contribution to that. It's in our budget. So she's going to get some information back to us. So, but that is still moving forward for Northampton County school system. Okay. And Tom Godwin was following up with the elementary school, trying to arrange if they are still interested in us doing the dictionaries for the third graders and finding a date that we can do that. I see that Tom is not here today, so I will continue to chase him to see if we have picked the date to get that distribution done. Again, as soon as we have it, we are going to need a little prep work from you guys because we put in labels in the front of the dictionaries before the actual date, and we've handed out both at Kiptopeke and at the Christian school and somewhere else we go. That's it, just those two. Okay. And actually, because I carpooled on Saturday when I went to my Rotary event with Exmoor and Onancock, I had a long chat with them for the 6 hours to and from. they would like to, because they're considering doing the dictionaries. So I've made them aware, we are doing the dictionary as well. So we thought about how can we partner this up? So we might try on the date we finally pick, if we can align the 2 dates that they're hitting up at the schools at Onancock, no, Akahonik, I can get it right, Akahonik. Is there a Christian academy up in Exmoor?
Sure, I think it's supposed to work out.
Sure, there. So they want to do it to them as well. So we're going to try and align so that we are all doing it on the same date and kind of get a little PR together for the 2 clubs at a minimum. I also learned that Exmoor is the next club who is scheduled to do the regional grant submission. I thought it was in Hancock, it's Exmoor. They don't have a project yet, so they are thinking. So if you have any ideas for projects that might be relevant, let me know and I'll get that on to Exmoor for them to consider putting in. The deadline for that is also coming up. That is at May, I think it's May 1 as well for that to get in as a grant application. So I think that's all the announcements I had from my club assembly from this past weekend. We've got a lot going on in the district. And it's really great when I go to these conferences, because as much as I think we're not doing enough, it's great to go because we as a club, when you compare us to other clubs, are doing a lot. We really are doing a lot of stuff. And most of the larger clubs, while they can maybe strike greater checks than we can, they don't do a lot of service projects out in the field. So they're really surprised when they start to hear from me and from our leadership what we do for service projects. So sometimes we put them all to shame, which is all right. I guess I am very competitive. So, Bill.
Bandy Club.
So thank you for bringing it up. So we had our presentation from Tracy Lego here at the district about a companion club or some sort of satellite club. Let's have that conversation. Is there interest from this club to do this?
What is it?
You weren't here, so it's an offshoot of our club. But it's for those, it's to bring in people that cannot do a lunch meal. Okay, because they're working. So you're thinking about doing maybe a happy hour. And it would be somewhere like a brewery or something like that. You don't have to have a space. You can do it in the corner. And of course, it'd have to be approved by the brewery, and you go there and you have a full program. The one that's part of Smithfield is they only meet twice a month, and they do a lot of projects, and that's their special projects. So they do that, but they discuss that at each time they meet, and you can go either meet. Okay. So that's what we're talking.
And so one of the great things that Tracy talked about when they were doing this and they finally got their satellite club up and running, those individuals that stepped forward to participate in that really came forward with very creative and out of the box projects, service projects that the regular club had never even thought about doing. They did a mental health day, for example, and they did all sorts of stuff associated with that. Things that we have never even branched out into. And that's part of it, is both to recruit within the Cape Charles community. If there are those who might be interested in participating in this, let them know it's a different kind of commitment, participation level. And we really do want to pick their brains. And because we do think there is a generation coming up behind us that may not appreciate sitting down for lunch like this every Tuesday, but would rather get out and do some service work instead. And that would be their way of build their network and make an impact into their community. It'd be nice to try and tap into that. One of the things that has been clear when you build these these companion clubs, they have eventually started to migrate to become greater participant members of a traditional format as they get more exposed to what Rotary is all about. Doesn't always happen that way, but sometimes they've seen some of those companion club members then start to show up from time to time and participate in whether it be a luncheon meeting or breakfast meeting or a dinner meeting, whatever that club offers. For us, of course, it's lunch. I think I'm interested. I'd like us to try this. I would like at least 5 of us to take the lead in planning this. All of us are going to have to take responsibility to scour and invite people to attend. and drum up participation in the first meeting or so to see if there's interest in our community to carry this forward. So, does everybody understand what it's all about? Here, you still have a look of frown on your face. What's up?
It's called a rest.
Any other questions? Yes.
Would the due structure that you pay out apply to anyone in the companion club?
A companion club, they would need to pay the international dues. And they would, so those dues, but not like any of the dues that we have here for supporting food, for that sort of thing, of that nature.
So what kind of dollar amount are we talking about?
Maybe $80 a quarter, maybe.
About 80 a quarter.
80 a quarter,
Yes.
off the top of your
Yes,
head.
yeah.
So
Less than 100.
So, you know, this companion club of Smithfield meets at a restaurant slash that serves alcohol, and they meet from 5:30 and they're always out of there before 6:30. Okay, and they do their program. And then some people, if they want to stay on and have drinks or dinner or whatever, it's on their own. Okay, that's all on their own.
Do they get like one free drink?
Oh.
No.
Not about-
So basically, it's for sort of encroaching upon a restaurant space, as if you were going with a bunch of friends. And yeah, part of this is we hope you would patronize that restaurant if you're there, have a drink, maybe stay for an appetizer or something, but it would not be paid by the club, like today's lunches are paid by the club. Yes, you're paying dues to have the club pay for this when it's all said and done. We will not be imposing those levels of dues on anybody in the companion clubs. Their dues would only be reflected to what we are required to transmit to Rotary International and for the district dues. That's it. Any other questions to try and understand what we're trying to do as an outreach?
What about the vetting process? I mean, do we still have to bring someone in membership, we still have to do the vote, or people just go off their pen and
Yeah.
move on?
Same betting club.
Okay.
Do we have a will and desire among the membership to try and advance this? Show of hands. I see that's the majority of you. So with all the hands that raise, you're all volunteering, correct? So can I have 5 of you step forward to team with me to help lead this, to get this spearheaded and off the ground? Betty's one, Libby's one, John, Mal, I'll take them all, and Joan. Okay, so we will need to gather here in the next week so we can start strategizing timing and location. And then we need to work on announcements. So for all the rest of you, you think you just escaped without an assignment, you're wrong. So I want each of you now to put pen to paper and give me 3 names. Start going through who you know in this community, who you socialize with, what establishments you patronize, and who's running those establishments, and think, would they be interested? Let's get their name, let's get them on an invite list. I need each of you to put those 3 names together and start bringing those into me so we can compile a master invite list. Okay? Anything else?
What are you gonna invite them to?
Well, that's what the planning committee, that's just been named, needs to figure out the date and location as to where we're gonna try and do our first meeting, gathering at a bar somewhere. I'm gonna pick a bar because I don't know what to call these places. Bar, restaurant, to come together and kind of hear about Rotary. We'll have to develop a little program, a little talk. And I do mean a little talk, maybe 15 minutes about who we are, the things we've done, and what we would hope to encourage through the satellite club. And that's what we're asking them to hopefully join a satellite club of the Rotary, the Cape Charles Rotary. Everybody good with this? Woo-hoo! Yes. Okay, if I have no other announcements, I'm gonna turn to happy dollars now. Who's got some happy dollars to share today?
I got some.
Oh my Lord, Walter.
down.
Got $10 happy from maximum guys and dolls that friends of mine. While in Colorado, my wife Randy became an official Rotarian in the Middles and Rotary. She's working on the Peace Pole stuff. There's a joining club down there that has over 100 that they erected.
Wow.
While I was with the Littleton Rotary, one of our projects was to get up to go about 6:45 in the morning to a Kohl's department store. A school bus arrives and children that the principal has selected come out and we individually take or assign a child. And we have a budget of $120 for them to purchase stuff in a Kohl's department store. And I had a little boy who didn't talk very well. But anyway, I think I came in under budget and it was an annual event they do just before Christmas. Anyway, it's great to be back. And I look forward to seeing more of you.
Whoa, welcome back, Lord.
And
$10. Karen,
I had $10 that were Russian Italy was fabulous trip. And I recommend that everybody, if you have people who don't feel very well, wheelchair. The wheelchair use of the airport is a lifesaver. You really can skip all the lines. Wheelchair service.
Anybody get a
Anyway,
real?
$10. I'm happy to be home. Sure.
well, we're glad you had a great trip. You made it home.
Anybody else happy today? Seeing none, let's do our drawing for who's got the high card today for the Queen of Hearts. Any aces out there? I got one over there, an ace of hearts. Showing it again? Again?
I'm sorry. That's who I Jackson Wild.
So Paul, how much in our pot today?
In today's collection.
So Joan, you're gonna take home some money. Paul will tell us that math here in a minute. Good. You're diamond, but still not hard, so you're all have another day.
$10.
If there is nothing else for the club, I'm gonna have us all stand and say the things we think, say, and do with our experience. One, two, three, four, concern, and 5.
Well, we
Have fun. Excellent. Have a great day, everybody.
That goes on there. Right on that board. Jim.
Well, anyway, we'll go.
Hey, Jim.
What do you want?
Yeah.
Contribution to the polio club in their name. So they. How many put together?
You want sweet or unsweet? Sweet.
Oh. Yeah.
I've got grand jury. It's been going until 5 o'clock. Any good case? I'm on the all merged. I gotta get that. Make sure my wife knows about the bill. Telling me that he's going to set the date and we'll do it. Well, talk to Katie about it. I'm just going to do it. Thank you. Right after the meeting. They're already here. We're throwing out our. Thank you. Okay. Stanley, behave yourself. No, no fun in there. Be good.
Yeah. Do you hear my? Do you remember whether or not someone read about it and they wanted to know about that was not the meeting, but I put out my email there. Asking, I got the majority vote from the board.
There was no stand had a letter at the. And we voted and approved, and I thought it was a question we might do. Oh.
Okay, all right, next time.
The red last week at our regular meeting, as people in their rates are $500.
Sometimes Bill said, Bill Strand that cost.
Katie said he did that at the board meeting, but I was not.
Yeah, that's not at the board meeting, Bill Strand brought a proposal for $500, and we sent that. What was that? That was to, that was the jail rent. Yeah, that's all, that's like.
Conservation of the need, right, we're gonna contribute money to that. But they, in our budget,
No, that was, in there, well, I mean, it's in the budget in the sense.
It wasn't
that
a
it was
hardship,
strong.
the name, you donate to, but we have a chunk of money that we can, I will allocate there. Right.
It wasn't designated, yeah, for projects that come up during the year.
That's what I was telling Mark, that I thought we had done that, and he was asking about it. So, and I have no problem with considering, I would just like to see paperwork on it, so we have a one-page application.
I know that, I
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do it.
And then once you get that into me, I send out.
I guess, my hands are wet, I just. Okay, welcome aboard. You like, you're on board.
Okay, then I'll do that, I'll do the paperwork. Yeah. I don't have a table, but Bill Kane may have a table.
Every six pack, he put a big bill, big.
Yeah, yeah.
You have that. Okay, good, thank you.
But then I've done,
Thank
one of the 10 things. you said.
What I'm,
So-
Joan, I'm gonna take it over to,
Here we go.
Take care, Betty.
Roberta found it when she was looking at the book. So the shooting goes up there once or twice a year. We just have to make a step. And she said we can help you do an inventory of their that was on. She thought it, I thought that. Really, how.
Look at all that.
Yeah, I know, but I think I gave that to you, she gave it to me.
Yeah, yeah. It was lost for about 3-4 years.
So. I think she got maybe third out to the Rotary.
Yeah, I can't, I didn't know we had a banner.
Interesting.
I've never seen it displayed.
Say hi to Jackie for me.
I will. She's doing good. We're coming up on the anniversary of her surgery,
Really?
March 8th. So I'm gonna try to,
She completely mobile?
oh, yeah. She's, she doesn't fall down anymore. She's using both hands. Yeah, yeah.
So she can spend money then, huh?
She never stopped.
But she's got her hands not.
Oh, yeah.
She did more quickly.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You know, she's been to, I think it was New Year's, we went to the casino.
Oh.
And she said, I told her, oh, give me a badges, guys.
Oh, thank you.
I just throw them on the top of, inside the box. Thanks, Mark. I told her you said you were ready, and she said, I'm gonna call you, I'm gonna call Joan.
Right.
So I'll remind her.
That's okay. I ran into Jeanette also, Jeanette Luther. And I'm gonna try and meet with her for lunch and see if she's interested also.
Oh, good.
So there used to be me, Jackie, Jeanette, Jeannie.
Yeah. Is Jeannie still in the area?
Yeah, but I think they do a lot of travel.
Oh, okay.
So I have to
You know,
find
they'll
out
still, they
whether
can,
I can
she's probably still a candidate.
try and do something soon.
Okay.